marks 6 months since Maya Miliete went missing from her home in Chula Vista. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Chiquetto. Maya's family tells us they met in person with Chula Vista police last week. And as News 8's David Goffredson reports, the search continues this weekend for the missing mother of 3.
It's just awful not knowing where your loved one is. It's terrible. It's a nightmare.
In the 6 months Maya Miliete has been missing, one of her daughters turned 11 years old. Her middle child turned 10. Her sister Mary Chris says Maya would never abandon her children.
We were counting days at the beginning, and then we were counting weeks. Now it's, we were counting months now. It's 6 months.
On Thursday, January 7th, the date Maya went missing, she made an appointment with a divorce attorney, and the couple argued that same night, according to her husband, Larry Miliete. And later, around 10 p.m., loud bangs sounding like gunshots were recorded by a surveillance camera in the neighborhood. On Friday, January 8th, Larry Miliete said he went to Solana Beach all day long in the family's all-wheel drive black Lexus SUV with personalized plate Melani. 2 weeks later, on January 23rd, police served a search warrant on the Miliete house, impounding the Lexus and several guns belonging to the husband. On April 1st, officers also served a search warrant on the Encanto home of Larry's uncle, Ricky Lincoln, taking more guns. Detectives have now written more than 50 search warrants in the case, including one on May 7th, when officers seized the husband's entire gun collection as part of a gun violence restraining order filed against him. They served a third search warrant on the house on July 1st, taking evidence and towing away Maya's black Jeep. That's when Larry Miliete's father, Benito, made taunting comments to the crowd outside the home.
She's missing. Now is abandonment, okay? She abandoned the family.
Volunteer search teams continue to look for Maya every weekend. The latest efforts will focus on East Otay Mountain, where teams will meet up this Saturday and Sunday mornings.
The community has been uplifting our spirits. They've been giving us strength.
Now, in his response to a gun violence restraining order filed against him, Larry Miliete has denied any involvement in his wife's disappearance. News 8 has put in a request with the court to unseal records in that gun violence restraining order case. A hearing on that request is set for 2 weeks from today. Marcella?
All right, David, can't believe it's been 6 months. We do know that the family is once again searching this weekend. Do we know why they're targeting East Otay Mountain?
Mary Chris tells us they're simply checking off a long list of places they need to search. But she did tell me that the family met in person with Chula Vista police last week on Friday, and the details of that meeting and the evidence they discussed with the family is not being made public.
I know they are trying to be patient. It has been a very long 6 months. Thank you, David, for that update. We continue to follow breaking news out of Mission Beach. San Diego police say a ruptured water line is causing major flooding. Look at this video right now. It's happening in the 800 block of San Luis Rey Place. We are told that this started in an alley, but as you can see, that water has really spilled out into the street. So far, there aren't any reports of any structural damage or evacuations. We also don't know yet what caused that break.
The state of California lifted its COVID-19 restrictions less than a month ago, and now news of variants have doctors all across the globe concerned.
Here at News 8, we've told you about the Delta variant that has been found here in California. Now, the Lambda variant out of South America has been deemed the variant of interest by the World Health Organization. News
8's Kirsten Holmes is joining us live right now with details on that. Kirsten?
Hey guys, I'm here in Little Italy where people are enjoying not having those COVID restrictions. The county of San Diego reached its goal to have 70% of its population, its adult population, vaccinated. And doctors we talked to say that is a good thing because we need all the protection we can get from the new Lambda variant.
The Lambda variant is the latest in a string of variants that are making things much more difficult for us to control the disease. They infect quicker and they burn through your lungs faster.
Yanir Baram is the president of the New England Complex Systems Institute. It's his job to study and find scientific solutions to real-world problems like COVID-19.
This is not a mild disease, and we should be doing everything that we can to get the cases down.
And when it comes to comparing the Delta and Lambda variants, he says,
it's becoming a concern that maybe it will be even faster than the Delta in terms of spreading.
The Lambda variant is dominant in Peru, and cases there are surging. It's been found in at least 30 countries, including the UK. There haven't been any cases found in the US, but with international travel being linked to the spread of the Lambda variant, Baram says it's best that we protect ourselves.
So what we should be doing is using the vaccines along with the other tried and true methods for stopping transmission. So wearing masks is key, and then other precautions are definitely worth taking, including not going out unless you have to.
The question most want answers to is, will just having a vaccine work?
The Lambda variant has not been evaluated in a country that has enough testing in order to compare. So we don't know.
Baram says now is not the time to ease up on COVID restrictions.
The way to stop it is to get out of the pandemic and not to just pretend that it's not there.
Okay, so news of the variants has people concerned all over the globe, so much so that even in Los Angeles, they went back to wearing masks indoors. Doctors we talked to say more people should consider doing the same thing.
A lot of people don't like to hear that. The idea of wearing masks again isn't a pleasant one. So how much should we be worried, though, about this, the Lambda variant, the new one here in the United States and here in San Diego?
Okay, so the good news is that there hasn't been any cases reported of the Lambda variant in the United States. I spoke with the San Diego County of Public Health, and they say they don't have any reports of it in this region, but it's still something that doctors are watching across the globe. Back to you.
Starting to get used to hearing about variants, and we don't like hear it anytime it comes up. Kirsten Holmes reporting live. Thanks, Kirsten. Scientists at Scripps Research are exploring COVID-19's lasting impacts on the body with the help of fitness trackers and smartwatches. They gathered participants' baseline health levels like resting heart rate and sleep patterns and how those changed during an infection. Researchers were able to draw connections between early symptoms and the severity of infections.
Using this data may help us better identify kind of who will go on to develop long COVID or who may be more likely to develop in the future.
3,000 San Diegans have participated in the nationwide study. Researchers are looking to further their study with more participants from underrepresented and high-risk communities in San Diego.
2 local scientists are being remembered tonight after they were killed in separate cycling crashes that happened just one day apart.
Alan Hunter II was killed June 22nd after being hit by a car while riding his bike in Solana Beach on June 23rd. Swati Tiagi was hit and killed in La Jolla.
News 8's Shannon Handy has more on the victims and reaction from a local bike coalition. Shannon?
Carlo and Marcella, North Torrey Pines Road is where one of those crashes happened. In fact, you can see a memorial here behind me. Both victims were accomplished scientists. They leave behind heartbroken family and friends. The San Diego County Bicycle Coalition says it's a reminder of the safety measures needed to prevent these types of tragedies. On June 22nd, 75-year-old Alan Hunter II was killed after being hit while riding his bike on South Coast Highway 101 near Loma Santa Fe Drive. A 21-year-old driver was arrested on suspicion of gross vehicular manslaughter, felony hit and run, and felony DUI. According to the Union Tribune, the victim was an Air Force veteran who went on to earn his Ph.D. He retired in 2010 from San Diego-based Trex Enterprises. The next day, on June 23rd, along North Torrey Pines Road near La Jolla Village Drive, 34-year-old Swati Tiagi was killed after veering into traffic. San Diego police do not believe the 74-year-old driver involved was impaired. Tiagi was married with an 11-month-old son. She was a postdoctoral researcher in the Hetzer lab at the Salk Institute, where she received numerous recognitions, including the 2017 Salk Women in Science Special Award. In a statement, Vice President and Chief Science Officer
Officer Martin Hetzer said the shock and pain from Swati's sudden passing is raw and deep. We are struggling to process this heartbreaking news. Swati was a rising star with immense intelligence, noble modesty, and boundless generosity.
When these things happen, it's personal, you know.
Andy Hanshaw is executive director of the San Diego County Bicycle Coalition. He says crashes like these are avoidable, which is why he's advocating for more safety measures like physical barriers, extra spacing, and in some places, reduced speed limits.
If there are corridors that we can lower speeds, the chance of survival for even if there is a crash is much higher at a slower speed.
Still, Hanshaw does credit city and county leaders, saying they've put more emphasis on cyclist accessibility and safety in recent years. He hopes that work will continue, but says drivers need to do their part too.
We all have to have a heightened sense of safety and awareness going forward.
If you'd like more information about the San Diego County Bicycle Coalition or a link to the GoFundMe page for Swati Tyagi, just go to our website, cbs8.com, and click on this story.